The Philippines logged a suspected digital fraud rate of 13.4% in 2024, more than double the global average of 5.4%. Now, that's according to global information solutions provider TransUnion. This marks the fifth consecutive year the country has exceeded the global fraud rate. The report also found that 74% of Filipinos were targeted by scams, with 34% losing money, averaging $768 or over 44,700 pesos. Fraud was highest in online communities at 19.2%, followed by retail 13%, both surpassing global benchmarks. And to get insights regarding this report, we have DICT spokesperson Assistant Secretary Renato Aboy Paraiso joining us via Zoom. Magandang umaga sa iyo, Asec.
Magandang umaga, Gretchen, sa inyong mga taga-panood, taga-subaybay, taga-pakinig. Thanks for having us in the show.
Okay, Asec, a digital fraud rate at 13.4%, more than double the global average of 5.4%. Were you surprised by this report, or it's in keeping with what we've been seeing for the past months and the past years?
Well, una-una, hindi namin pa tinitingnan yung global report ng TransUnion. No? However, DICT has actually been implementing measures to combat digital fraud. Recently, the DICT, pinapalakas mo natin yung isang attached agency natin, yung Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center natin, na maglo-launch tayo ng rapid response channel in that flagging yung mga harmful and unlawful online content more effectively. Additionally, ang DICT po has partnered with organizations like Scam Watch Philippines to encourage public to use yung eGov app po natin at saka yung 13262 natin na hotline. So, to answer your question squarely, yes, we are cognizant of the fact na medyo mataas yung rate ng online fraud dito sa ating bansa.
Okay, Asec, ano bang ibig sabihin ng digital fraud rate? Paano ba minimeasure yan? Ayan ba yung mga successful na naloko? Pag sinabi nating yung numero na yan, yung kinakount lang yan ay yung mga naloko na.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, we haven't really tackled the issue of yung report na ho na yan. And we don't know the matrix that they're using when measuring global fraud.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so a lot to see there still to pick on. But India led with the highest digital fraud rate at 19%, followed by the Philippines and Dominican Republic at 10.9%. Is there a pattern that you're seeing with these countries?
Yeah. If you see all the countries that rank high on this particular list, I think that the similarities is heavy users sa internet at saka sa online, heavily reliant online. That's one. And second medyo mababa pa yung digital literacy rate ng mga gumagamit ng internet dito sa ating dito sa mga bansa na nasa listahan na yan. So, I think we've recognized the challenges if you're seeing those patterns. And I think we have programs in place na po, lalong-lalo na sa with the new administration of the ICT led by Secretary Henry Aguda. I think the trust now of the ICT, particularly the CICC, is to make the internet safer for everyone. I think yun yung drive ng good vibes lang sa internet na program ni Sec Henry A.
Actually, masakit dito sa report na ito is yung money part that the Filipinos lose. It stood at $768 or 44,700 pesos. And I remember talking to the DICT or some cybersecurity experts about financial scams being transferred now from SMS to online messaging platforms. So what scams are abound at this point in time? And napapansin ninyo, may mga bago ba?
Ako, walang bago pero mas maraming pinalakas na yung mga syempre andiyan yung mga retail fraud kasi again, this is really the product of us being reliant on several online businesses or online applications. So and may baba pa yung literacy natin or yung awareness natin on how to protect ourselves. Like sa retail fraud, financial services fraud, yung account takeover fraud, community platform fraud, logistics and public sector fraud. So all of this has to do with yung mga ginagawa natin everyday online like online marketing, online transactions. I think the very important part, thing to stress here, Gretchen, no, is no one would be a victim of scams kung walang participation nung victim themselves. For example, sa online financial fraud, pag binibigay natin yung mga one-time passwords natin, or we click on the links on sa mga SMS or sa OTTS na binapadala sa atin. So I think that is where the ICT, CICC should step up, is really on a campaign for the public to be aware of, this particular fact wouldn't happen if walang participation natin.
Okay. Another thing would be tracing the actual roots of these scams. No, meron ba tayong system in place that makes it easier to track or to attach the numbers to the identities of the persons owning, let's say, an e-wallet account? Madali na lang ba yun mahanap ngayon? And how are we working with the private institutions for that?
Well, first, it's not that easy, pero there's a system in place now. Especially now that there's a drive really to explore and partner up with the private sectors. Recently, I've attended the meeting with the NTC led by Commissioner Ella. We met with the MNOs for the purposes of discussing on yung sinasabi nyo, yung tracing and attribution. But independent of that particular conversation and that particular partnership with the MNOs and other private sector partners with regards to technologies, CICC has already purchased and it will be procuring several systems and several applications that would make this tracking, investigation, and attribution more effective dito sa online scams.
Kasi naalala ko na scam din ako online at pinuntahan ko yung police at sinabi sa akin, naku, medyo mahirap at matagal yung proseso para lang unang-una na makita kung sino nagmamayari ng mga number na ito dahil hindi lahat ng e-wallet ay effective yung kanilang verification system. At para ibigay sa'yo yung record nung private companies, medyo matagal din na proseso, no? It requires a court order and all of those things. It's good to know you're fast-tracking that. But when it comes to the elections, what is the DICT doing to make sure this doesn't spill over to protecting the integrity of the upcoming elections?
Well, maraming ho ang ginagawa natin when it comes to the midterm elections. First and foremost, kahapon in-announce na ni Chairman George Garcia the opening of the Threat Monitoring Center located dito sa DICT, particularly dito sa CICC It's a partnership between CICC and COMELEC to monitor every online threat that would be coming our way, especially during the elections. And the period immediately after that, kasi the concerns are unang-una yung hacking ng systems, pero medyo okay na tayo doon, medyo secure na tayo kasi we conduct regular VAPT testings, we conduct monitoring of our systems nung sa COMELEC, the ICT being a member of the COMELEC Advisory Council. But more importantly, I think the bigger problem is the attack on the integrity of the elections. So talagang binabantayan din natin dito sa Threat Monitoring Center ng COMELEC and CICC yung pag-spread ng mga fake news at saka ng mga disinformation, misinformation, malinformation when it comes to the integrity of the elections. We expect nga, Gretchen, na after the elections, mas nadami yan para sasabihin, we have to doubt the results of the elections.
To discredit the elections.
Yes. So yun yung talagang purpose ng Threat Monitoring Center na to. And this is the first of its kind in our country. I think this is the first time it's been established na 24/7 na yung operations namin. And this shows yung concept ng digital bayanihan ng DICT wherein COMELEC, CICC, the NBI, NTC, the PNP, I think the PCO already are sending the people to monitor to man the center also. So talagang it's a whole of government, it's a whole of society approach talaga kasi we also partnered up with Google, Meta, and ByteDance, and I think even X para dito sa ano natin na to sa campaign natin.
Well, Asec, I'd love to come there and visit and see what operations are like when it comes to curbing all of these scams and all of these disinformation efforts. In the meantime, maraming salamat. We ran out of time, but there is a deeper discussion to this. Maraming salamat para sa impormasyon. We have DICT Spokesperson Assistant Secretary Renato Aboy Paraiso.